All right, and we are live. Welcome everybody back to the work live chat. It's been a long time since we have pulled this off. Let me mute that really quick. So hey everybody. We got a few people in the chat at this point. Well, Builder Shooter doesn't really count. Oh, but he's back on the stream. Hey, buddy. Can you hear us now? You're muted, by the way. And your hair is insane. It's gorgeous. But you're still muted. Anyway, Shooting Gallery New England is there. How's it going? Say what?
He looks like Einstein.
He does look a little like Einstein, doesn't he? He's trying to figure out how to unmute, and it's not working. Professor is here. Hey, man. How's it going? It's been a while.
Okay, I know how to unmute, but my kids are also like right here being.
Oh.
So.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, they could say hi from like off screen. I mean, they can be on screen if you want, but
They're currently working on filling up the pool at 9:30 at night. So.
I did that 4 hours ago.
I know I was there.
yes, you were. Builder helped me with some home renovation today. Anyway, no real reason for getting on here. It's just been a very long time since we did a live stream. Harrison was at a place where he actually had internet, which is an insane thing. Builder, I don't know. He's just there.
Hey, I figured out technology to get going.
You did. I am extremely impressed.
I'm using my big boy mic and everything.
Aww. It sounds pretty good.
I'm happy with it.
Harrison, you haven't moved in 30 seconds. Are you frozen?
No, I'm good, man.
You're
good.
Just enjoying the ride?
Yeah.
Are we going
to talk about some tactical lever guns?
I think we should. I want to talk about the fact that 2 years ago, friggin' that guy right there made fun of me incessantly about tactical lever guns. And now I'm getting pictures every other day about new tactical lever guns from that guy. And
I've been beaten down.
I mean, rightfully so. You should have been.
So what are we considering a tactical lever gun? Out of those ones you sent today, I would honestly only say one of those to me was a true tactical lever gun. The rest were more like a hybrid.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, putting the rail on it kind of does that for me, but also if you're running a light or a red dot, that kind of makes it feel tactical, in my opinion.
The sweet spot, in my opinion, is a retro look that still has modern functionality. So when you start going some of these new stocks and the rails, I'll admit I like the way they look, but personally, I don't think I'd ever buy one. But
I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, I want a top rail. I want the ability to mount a red dot. I want the ability to mount a light. I just don't want it to look like it's trying to be an AR-15.
Yeah. So XS forever has made the lever rail for the Marlin series at least, and it's just a lengthened pick rail up top, and then you change your iron sights out too. And I've always loved that because it gives you the options to put a different optic on it and have a longer sight radius with just the iron sights. So with the addition of the rail, it adds what I think is the most important thing you need on a long gun, which is a light. So I really don't want to put screws in the wood forend.
That's fair. Really quick shout out to Terribly Tactical down there. He is that way. One of Harrison's affiliates, and dude is freaking awesome. If you get a chance, check out his live stream on Sunday nights, or just go over to his channel. But also, that's Harrison from Harry's Holsters over there, that guy. And if you go over to Harry's Holsters, hey, Terribly, toss your coupon code or your affiliate code down in the links, and I'll drop you an affiliate thing because Harrison makes fun of my affiliate sales, so there's no point in ruining that now. We'll just run yours.
I just used your code 2 weeks ago.
You got sweet. Harrison pays me enough. I don't need affiliate.
I feel bad because his affiliate code, I don't pay out till it reaches a certain amount, and let's just say he does much better on the holster design side.
I'm busy making them versus selling them.
No, your business is designing them.
Well, that's right. You make them. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Pistol Pete says he's tossed some lock brass grips on his pistol and now it weighs 55.6 ounces unloaded. What gun is that on? Maybe a Walther Q5 SF Pro?
Either got to be that or a Shadow 2.
No, a Shadow 2 doesn't get that heavy with locks.
Okay.
I don't think. It's way back there. I'm not going to go get it. But anyway, let's see. Shooting gun.
That's very reasonable price there, Harrison.
Hey, it actually is. Workman.
I know.
It actually is.
What did I do? I don't know.
No, I'm saying I told Gallery New England that I would make him a P85 holster.
No. No, that's
It'd be one use tooling. You'd probably get a good bonus out of that percentage. We try to knock it out fairly quick.
All right, let's do this.
We've had that discussion before years ago, you and I, about a custom holster for a HK P30L with the frame weight.
Yeah, that.
You were like, yeah, that's going to be expensive.
Yeah. Oh, here, we'll do this
you get to a point where there's only so many people that are going to use something, and with materials went up 300% since 2020 for the molding materials. So that's prototyping and production molds. And then I went and looked back at the amount I bought in like 2019. It went up 200% from 2019 to 2020.
Did it really?
Yes. The call.
So what you're saying is we need to make a manufacturing plant for this stuff and just be our own source.
I mean, they've got those in the Gulf. The problem is it's been a triple whammy. They had the hurricanes that hit, the winter storms, and then different administrations' policies on oil.
That doesn't affect the market.
Yeah, it all affects the market. It was.
Before it disappears, Pistol Pete says that heavy gun, that was a Tank Foglio. So, and then Terribly Tactical is apparently sending people over here. That's slightly terrifying.
They do make
also, Harrison, I'm assuming you saw that one.
What, the 1911? Oh.
Yeah, he that and the revolvers, he's swinging on that rope hard lately.
So the revolvers,
with good reason, but
the revolvers, we're close on two of them, the LCR and the J frame, just waiting on some parts for those. But the revolvers, again, that's something I really want to do as a passion project.
Yeah,
but other projects that actually make money don't happen. And these two revolvers will be good sellers.
Yeah,
but I want to do stuff for K frames. I want to do stuff for the Ruger SP 101. And honestly, we'll be lucky to break even on that.
Yeah. That's my fault.
No, it's not. It's reality.
it's that raw material fault that you were just talking about.
It's raw materials. It's the design time. It's everything. And really, it's the opportunity. Like, when I say $10,000 for a custom holster, that's for a non-light bearing, just basic holster. And in that is factored the opportunity cost time.
Right.
Well, that plays another role.
Hi, Kathleen. It's been a long time.
So I was looking it up, and I think the last time we did this was in February of 21. Or at least the last one I was on.
Wow. That sounds about right. I think I've done one. No. The last one that you were on was the podcast one that we did.
Right. The last time we, did it this way was February of 21.
That would, yikes. That's been a while, dude. That makes me sad.
Yeah. Remember when we used to have a podcast?
You're right. What happened to that?
I don't know.
It's the kids. I blame them.
You blame everything on your kids. You and Michael both.
I mean, you should meet him. You'd understand.
Right. He's going to meet him. NRAM. He's going to see. Because NRAM is in Indy next year.
Nice.
Harrison is coming.
Yeah, I'm not good. I'm not good with kids between like 5 and probably about 12. So
I didn't say you have to like take care of them. I just said you're gonna meet them. I
good being around them.
I wouldn't let you like no. I wouldn't wish that on you.
I am the one who, and Michael gives on me for like, I'm like, here, let's go shooting, kid. Like the kid's like 5, and I'm like, here's a regular size AR-15. You can shoot this, and apparently that's not what kids those age can do. So apparently I'm not too good at knowing what's safe and what's not safe. But my dad gave me a pocket knife at 3 years old, so and I cut myself right away. So just kind of
terribly tactical is going to rock a 1911 butt ass naked.
There you go. That'd be a good way to carry it.
That's. I mean, you know what? You'd come off just as crazy as when you carried it in the first place. So.
See, but it'd have to be a 38 Super nickel plated with mother of pearl grips in a vertical Galco shoulder holster.
You know what? I'll allow it.
No GI sights.
If you're gonna be naked, you've got to prison carry it.
That's true.
And I wouldn't want to see that done to a 38 Super like you just described.
It's true.
I'm thinking maybe like the Browning 380 version. Or the Rock Island Armory 380 version.
You know, some girl that works with me, she had a birth defect in her fingers, so her hands are very, very small. And she just bought one of those baby rocks, and she loves it because she bought a 1911 for me a long time ago. It was her favorite gun, and now the baby rock, she really loves it. It's just the right size for
her. My brother's got a baby rock, and they're tiny. They really are.
So I don't like 380, but when you're spitting 380 out of a longer barrel like that, it gets better.
Yeah, because they're about like 3.5.
I think it's 3.5, 3 3/4, something like that.
Yeah. Think of how much better it'd be though with a double stack magazine and 32 ACP.
Yeah.
That I really wish 32 ACP would make a comeback.
Me too. That's a cool little round. Honestly,
I've been thinking about 32 a lot lately, and I think 32 is better than 380.
I am still a big proponent of the 32 and the 25 NAAs. Like, I really want a gun that shoots those because it's just freaking cool. Like,
I went down a Beretta Tomcat rabbit hole this week, and I was thinking about 25 NAA Beretta Tomcat.
The one thing about the Beretta Tomcats that I hate is they're hard as hell to shoot due to the sights.
Yeah, they're terrible.
I literally couldn't. I had trouble. I had to concentrate to hit a target at 7 yards.
And they're like 3 inches wide.
Yeah. I started just indexing it, and I got much better hits than when I was trying to use the sights. And that was against a silverish color suppressor. So if it had been on the black target, it would have been even worse.
So really quick, Manny's got a very important. Oh, it's the kids. Hi, Benson. I mean, hi, Builder's older child and younger child. So
where's his beard?
He made him shave it. They look too similar. Hey, so Manny's got a really good question there, Harrison. Are we Airbnb-ing for Indy?
I need to look into that and get it booked, and I need to get Michael. Well, we don't even know the dates yet.
Huh?
Don't even know the dates yet.
I thought we did. I don't know.
They went up last Friday.
I'm looking it up now. Survey says. Nope, they've still got the Texas one up. Screw Texas. Oh wait. No, that was Texas that was this year. Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah,
if they do it on Memorial Day again, there's no way I'm doing it.
Oh, come on. Don't be a weenie. Just do it. Let's see. So Kathleen says Washington's gone totally stupid with 10-round mags. Yep.
Oh, are they one of the 10-round mag states?
Yep. I think so. They just went to.
That was in progress, though, before everything happened recently. So it's not like
right. Hey, Bald and Curious is here. How's it going, man?
Firearms Policy Coalition seems to be doing a lot on that end. So it's going to be interesting to see how some of these court cases roll out.
Man, they're going so slow though.
It's the way the court system works.
I know it is. Just sucks. Like, I don't know. It's disheartening with how long it takes to get that stuff, worked out. Wow, I'm fuzzy now. Come on, you can do it. There we go. Harrison, you weren't lying when you said that you were working on your lighting.
Yeah, I brought one light.
I brought a light too, but like my computer screens are way too big and they provide way too much light. But
yeah, this thing's bright if I look into it, but it seems to work pretty well if I look at my screen.
I have a 27-inch monitor that you're on.
So what do you guys think about the new 5.7 that FN released?
I think it is definitely a step in the right direction, which I appreciate. If they would just get rid of that safety and you have a fantastic pistol.
I'm not always the one to say this, but I wish they had come out with a threaded barrel version to begin with versus just saying they'll offer a threaded barrel separately.
They need.
I thought it was threaded like a 22 where you just screw the end cap off.
No.
Because you could almost do that with 5.7.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but the new 5.7 is essentially the old 5.7 with like new externals.
Yeah, it's the old 5.7 with an optics cut.
Well, the frame's different.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, but like the trigger's the same, the trigger system's the same, the barrel's going to be the same.
Everything looks the same. I will kind of.
So basically,
Kathleen, every pistol doubles as a can opener if you're a good shot.
I'll agree with Terribly Tactical that the new 5.7 is ugly trash.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't look. I like the look of the old one.
No mag compatibility.
Oh, hold on now.
What?
Oh.
Well, that's a big flop because everybody's using FN mags now.
Yeah. That was. Oh, I like what A-Dub said. Why did FN let Walther design their new 5.7?
Have you guys
don't let Work shoot it? He'll say the optics plate sucks.
So Instagram wasn't letting me send you guys that picture that day. But have you seen the size difference between a regular PDP it was my Walther P99 versus the new 22 mag Walther?
No,
that gun is like almost Mark 23 size.
Is it really?
Yes, it's huge.
Jeez.
I'm gonna see if I can send it.
Walther
the 22 mag is a long round.
It is. That's true. Yeah, it's definitely not a small round. But I did. It's birds.
It was a loon.
I did pick up this guy, the new PDP F finally, and it's better.
Oh my!
What?
Harrison sent that picture. That thing's huge.
Whoa! Why?
Also
P99s were optimal Walther.
You could grip it like this, Workman, and you still probably have both your hands on the grip.
Yeah, I'll bet you're right.
I think you need to send that P99 to work for holster stuff.
There's no demand for holsters for that thing. The only reason I bought it is for one, I've always wanted one.
Yeah.
They didn't import them probably for the last 3 or 4 years from what I could tell. And prices during COVID for those things spiked up to $2,000.
So they're still bringing in one model of P99, but it's the subcompact.
No. Huh? They are?
Or at least they were last year, I think. Work and I have this discussion about once a year.
The one I bought is the one in the picture. It's regular 15-round version. And that they're available all over online right now. Or they were as a week ago. So, but again, that version was selling for almost $2,000 on Gunbroker. And if you had one in like the OD green or something, I saw some of those go for almost $3,000. So I got mine for like $699, $650, somewhere in there. So I'm like, I'll regret it if I don't get it. And they go,
Yeah.
I can't justify paying $2,000 for that ever.
So Shooting Gallery says that the new SIG P322 is pretty sweet, which I have heard from everybody that I know who's shot that thing.
Man,
but they're still $200 overpriced.
That's an issue with it. But one thing I was kind of disappointed in when I handled it, the thing is huge.
It is bigger. It's a compact gun. It is not a 22 size.
No, I'm going to say it's almost Glock 17 sized. It's a smaller circumference grip.
Right.
That is my hand, Glock 19, my hand fits flush with the mag. SIG P320 compact. There's probably half to 3/4 of an inch hanging out.
Yeah, that's not cool. But I mean, I think the purpose of that gun is not a carry gun. It's a trainer gun. It's made specifically to be able to like pull. And did Harrison freeze?
Either that or he's yawning for a really long time.
That is an awesome freeze frame right there. I hope he doesn't come back.
I hope he does. I like him.
Well, I mean, he'll come back eventually, but he looks like totally high. Anyway, while he's gone, I'm going to jump over to a couple of other things. So Kathleen's asking what size barrel is on my PDP-F. So it is a 4-inch barrel. And the reason that I got that is because my compact is a 4-inch barrel. And one of the things that they said with the F is that they had redesigned the recoil system to lighten it up, make it easier to rack. And the byproduct of that is that the 4-inch version of the PDP, the F version, does shoot better than the standard compact 4-inch. So it is a nicer shooting gun, which is good, because the original one of my major complaints, other than the crappy optics plate, was that it's snappy. And now that's not got a crappy optics plate, and it's not as snappy. So, ayo.
Did I shoot that gun?
The PDP or the PDP-F?
The PDP, the first one.
You've shot it. Yeah. It's very...
unremarkable?
Yeah. It's not totally... oh, my gosh. He had to switch to his phone. Did your computer die?
It's not a scary face at all.
It is. There should be stoplights and stuff out there, but there's nothing but headlights.
Your power went off?
Yeah, man, we've had storms here all night. I've gotten texts from people in other parts.
What is that sound? Is there somebody like trying to break in, or is that you, Builder?
That was me.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Oh, jeez. Super jumpy, but...
You there?
Yep. It's funny, you went down there specifically because their internet's
Can you
better.
hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear us? You can't hear us, can you? We can hear you. You can't hear us. He's gone now. Anyway. With this. Anyway. Let's see. So Kathleen says she prefers longer barrels on pistols.
When we first started these, I would say absolutely. But with the addition of red dots on pistols, it just doesn't matter as much to me anymore.
Right.
Like, maybe I could shoot my 34 a touch faster than my 45, but not much, and probably not enough to make a difference.
Yeah.
And, I still carry the 17, so I still carry the middle barrel length. But I don't know.
So I always will say carry the largest gun that you can be comfortable carrying. That being said, as you said, with dots, you don't have to be as careful about that because you can be as accurate. You're not dealing with the sight distances. So if you can shoot the shorter gun, use it,
Mm-hmm.
So or if carrying the Glock 45, you get the extra 2 rounds. If that's more comfortable than carrying a 17, and you would carry a 19 instead, your options are basically the 45 or the 19. Carry the 45. So, that's a really good method to use, and the whole longer barrel thing anymore past a certain amount doesn't really matter that much.
And if it's an iron sight gun, that's a completely different story.
Well, even with the iron sights, depends on the distance you're shooting.
Yeah.
Like I've done some pretty extensive testing at like 25 yards and then 15 yards and then 7 yards. A shorter barrel is more accurate under speed. A shorter sight radius is more accurate under speed when you're shooting at 10 yards. Get to 25, it becomes a whole nother game.
Right.
Yep.
And that's always been the thing is, you always have to acknowledge that 25-yard shot could happen. But, is it worth? It all depends on where you want to make that concession. Because when you're carrying a gun, you're obviously giving up something. Like, Andy, if you could comfortably carry a 34, would you? And it was as comfortable as a 17.
I don't think it. I mean, if I had a Harry's Holster Singleton for my 34, I don't know that I would be able to tell a difference between my 17 and the 34.
Yeah, but I will say this: there's not much of a difference between the 17 and the 19, but the 34 gets to a point for a lot of people where it's just a little too long.
Because I carried a 34 holster for quite a while. When I had the comp on the 19, I had a 34 holster, and it was fine. I had a 34 with a TLR1 holster, so it was a huge big thing, and I thought it was just fine.
Yeah. Really quick.
But that's my personal preference, too. Everybody's different.
Well, and I jump around so much. Like, in the past 2 weeks, I've carried a P10S, a P10C, a Staccato C2, an MMP. Like, I don't really have a carry gun anymore. And I'm bouncing around between iron sights and dots anymore. Like, hey, is your power back on?
Yep. Now I'm just going to wait for the internet to connect.
Hey,
if I could justify switching platforms, I would 100% switch my carry gun right now to a 10 millimeter M&P.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind.
Dude, I love the M&P platform. Like, it's really good. It's just Smith & Wesson does a crappy job of marketing themselves.
They do. And a 4-inch 10 millimeter full-size M&P with 15 rounds, you have a whole lot of gun right there.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about, speaking of 10 mil, what do you think about the new SIG?
I think it's about time somebody came out with one that was like a more modern. I mean, I guess the M&P it's just kind of the new trend.
Now, the 10 millimeter to me is a little bit more of an enthusiast gun.
I think so too.
I'm really wondering why SIG did not do the Legion Spectre comp in 10 mil. I think at the launch, there'd have been a lot of interest in that, even at that price point.
Yeah, that'd be a spicy little gun. That'd be nice.
Yes.
I don't think it would have gained them anything. They're not going to pull any new sales in with that. The 10 mil guys, they would have whittled down their 10 mil. So they would only, even if they'd only got 2/3 of the people, the gun would have been more expensive and it costs them more to make too. And their margin is probably about the same. So allowing the lower end, every 10 mil guy is going to buy the cheaper one.
A buddy of mine is a pilot, and he's got a place up in Alaska. So he goes up there a couple times a year. He said everybody up there is pretty much carrying a Glock 30 or a Glock 30S. That's the 30 is the 10 mil, right?
No, the 30 is the 45. The 30S is the 45 with the 36 slide on it. The 36 is the single stack 45.
So
the 29 is the 10 millimeter.
The 29?
Yeah.
So everybody up there is carrying the Glock 29 with like buffalo bore hard cast loads, which to me, if I'm in grizzly country, I'm carrying a 44 Magnum. But when you look at the weight and size of that gun, I'm pretty much going to get a revolver instead of that SIG. So, and it seems most of the people buying these 10 mils are buying them either completely for shooting experience or for, just fun time on the range or hunting backwoods, like backup stuff. I think they missed the mark with the gun they released. It doesn't really fill either role very well.
I don't know. I think it's just a matter of trying to grab as much of that 10 mil traffic as they can get. Because a 10 mil enthusiast is a 10 mil enthusiast. What the heck was that?
That was my sliding back door.
So, Builder, what's your favorite 22 pistol before it gets tucked too far back in the chat?
My favorite 22 pistol?
Yeah.
I don't know. My Mark III 2245 light is pretty fun.
All right. Harrison,
No.
22. No.
22 revolver.
Nice.
Double action, single action. 22 revolver with like a 6-inch barrel. I don't know what it is, but I want it.
But it's yours. It will be someday. Harrison, what's your favorite 22 pistol?
Right now, it's my 22 LCR. I'm loving that thing.
Awesome.
Those are so fun.
Mine is actually my Ruger LCP 22. Like, that is a wild card gun that I never expected to love.
Have you guys seen the? I sent you the video on the performance with the punch ammo, the 22 punch.
Yes. Yeah.
That's impressive. And in that Ruger LCR, I trust the reliability to carry.
Yeah.
I've got a buddy. He's not going to shoot a lot. He calls me up. He goes, I just bought a house. I'm in a neighborhood that's way sketchier than I thought. What gun do I buy? So I took him shooting, and I think he's going to go with a Ruger LCR 22 to carry and just have around him in the neighborhood. He's not as hardcore as we are. He's not going to carry everywhere he goes. He's going to carry more when he's walking his dog and he's just out around his neighborhood.
Yeah.
For him, I think it's a great option. He shot it well. He knows the limitations of the gun. I think for somebody like him, it's a really good option. He's also a big enough, strong enough dude. The 15-pound trigger pull isn't an issue.
I do think that their reliability in the 22 revolvers is going to give them a hand up. There's something about having that little semi-auto 22 that is so tiny and yet is so smooth to shoot. Like, I still can't believe how fun that little gun is to shoot. And it is crazy accurate too
when it runs.
Right. Well, and I've run bulk ammo through it most of the time. I tossed some stangers in there, and they ran 100% and were not that much harder recoiling. And I mean, those things have a kick to them. So I really need to try those punch rounds.
Did you see the ballistic test that TFB did on the stingers? They were, the penetration in those was varying from like 6 to 8 inches.
Yeah.
All the way to 16.
Jeez.
Yeah, they blow apart, don't they? I mean, they don't keep together very well.
Some went all the way through, stayed apart. The other ones were expanding and not making that far in at all. So punch were very consistent.
Yeah.
Right.
Much deviation.
So the LCR 22, my brother-in-law bought one for his mom because she was working nights at the hospital, and she was, excuse me, our hospital isn't in the best location. So she was nervous, and he bought one for her, and she ended up giving it back to him. But we were shooting it one day, and seriously, on like we're shooting railroad plates. So about the size of a piece of paper. I mean, you can bust off 8 rounds as fast as you can pull the trigger, and inside of 15 yards, all of those are going to hit that target. I mean, it is a fast little fun gun.
Yeah, the thing I'm most impressed with about that gun is I handed it to my buddy, who I had to show him how to grip a semi-auto properly. Got the revolver pretty fast, and he was putting up, like, I'm going to say probably 3-inch groups at 5 yards. First time he shot it, as fast as he could pull the trigger. Now, when you get much further back and you get too small of a target, the sights become the biggest issue.
They do. The rear sight is lacking, but you also have a little dinker of a gun.
Yeah. I do wish they had some sort of option, kind of like the Smith & Wesson 640 Pro, to have a decent rear sight, but honestly, I can live with it. I mean, that gun, it's 70 yards and in, even for me. Yeah. Whereas with a semi-auto, I feel more comfortable going to 25 or 35 in a self-defense situation, depending on the target size.
Right. Sorry, spaced out for a second. I'm reading. Has anybody tried the Walther PPQ in 22? I didn't know they made that. It's a thing?
I think it
I
might
think
be.
it's been around forever, hasn't it?
Yeah. Is it a Humorex gun?
Yeah, I think it's a Umarex gun. It's kind of the same as the first generation M&P 22 pistols, the Smiths. That was made by Walther. I had one of those. It shot really well. My dad actually has it now, but that's different too.
Big Johnson asked, this is the frat boy chat. Hey, just because we're not old like you doesn't mean we're that young. Come on, man.
Yeah, he's laughing about. He's probably saying that for something I told him earlier today.
Oh no!
I'll fill you in on that.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything.
Uh-huh.
I didn't do anything, but there was a really cool house in my area that's up for sale.
And you're buying it
No,
as a frat house? No. Oh,
no, it would basically make an awesome party house. So we're just
you've got like reminiscings of Entourage in your head, don't you?
yes.
That's exactly. I knew that's where you were going with that.
I'll just put it this way: that this house was built, and there's a pond that backs up to it, so you can literally stand on like this back patio area and fish. There's a boat dock built into the house.
Yeah,
on probably like a 2-acre pond. So my idea was getting some jet skis, and then you could get some really long foam noodles and have jet ski jousting on the pond.
Ooh, I like the way this is going.
Yeah, I mean, the whole house is,
somebody's gonna die, but I won't be there because I don't do water. So
the pond did not look clean at all. So like, and it had these decks that you could have some diving boards off of.
Yeah,
everything. A lot of opportunities. Something I'll never do. I'll never buy that and do that, but it's fun to dream about.
There's a few houses around here that I have like pipe dreams of buying, but with the housing market the way it is now,
it's so bad.
This house.
But if I had a house that backed up to a 2-acre pond, you guys would never freaking see me.
That's probably true.
Some would be jet ski jousting.
Yeah, that's right. We'd be down
somebody
there.
do that one time.
Right. Hey, really quick, while this is completely off topic from that, what are you guys carrying lately?
Same thing always. 48.
Which is 48. Do you have anything done to it? I know the answers to these, but I'm still going to ask.
It's stippled, and then it has an RMR. This is not the MOS version, so this is before they came out with that. Got it stippled, had an RMR, added its actual RMR, not the RMR CC, and then shield mags.
So I've been shooting the 43X and the 48 a lot lately because I just did a bunch of comparisons with them. Dude, the grip texturing on those is a joke.
Yeah,
it is.
That stock grip texturing is so bad. Why did they not at least put the Gen 5 texturing on there?
I don't know why they did Gen 4 on those guns. Maybe it had something to do with wanting to retain compatibility with the 43.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, gun to me, if I had to go into a gun store and pick up a gun that's 50 state legal, all you need to do is add a good set of sights to it out of the box. It's probably, if I could only have one gun, this would probably be it. I'd probably get one of the MOS version so I could mount a light to it if I wanted to. But the 48's hard to beat, man. I mean, it's slim. You can still get a decent amount of ammo in it.
I've definitely shot worse guns than the 48.
So here's a question. I got a comment on one of my videos, one of the comparison videos, saying that because one of my biggest criticisms of the 48 and 43X is the mag capacity. You know, obviously there's enough space internally in the grip there to get more rounds, but Glock's insistence upon the polymer coated magazine reduced them to 10. And one of the people said, well, they said that Glock intentionally made the guns to 10 for the 10 round states. But here's the problem that I have with that. That's exactly what I said. It is easy to block a gun at 10. It's super easy. You just dimple the mag, boom, you're blocked at 10 rounds, right? Which would give them perfect sales in all of the 10 round cap states. But then you remove that for the other states, and now you've got a gun that's competing with the likes of the Hellcat Pro, the SIG P365 XL, And because of when the 48 came out and the 43X came out, they would have been first on the market with the higher end capacity. So honestly, like it's their propensity towards those polymer coated mags, but I'm glad to see that somebody else is like, no, that's crap. It's their insistence upon the mag style that's capped them not building to the state that they're trying to sell to.
We're not going to change it. I
agree.
And really, I'm becoming somewhat disenfranchised with every gun maker right now. And maybe it's because I have so many of the other guns, and that you just, once you've played with them all, you want something new and fresh. But the coolest things that are happening right now are happening with the SIG P320 and the SIG P365 platforms. And it's not SIG who's doing it. It's all the aftermarket companies.
Yeah, all of the aftermarket frame companies.
Yeah, the frames, the slides, the comps. They're doing some really cool stuff. Icarus, man, they've changed the game. I'm really impressed. And Norso, Harrington, Parker Mount Machine, they're all making really cool products.
I'd like to get hands on one of those Icarus frames because that looks really cool.
When I come up to NRA show, I'll bring my Icarus gun. It might be my carry gun by that point. Like, I'm liking it a lot, but I've got to get a little bit.
Just got to get a holster for it.
Yeah, we got to do that too.
My only problem with that entire platform is I just can't get over the trigger. It's just yucky to me. But man, other than that, it is great.
Here's the thing about that trigger is it on paper, it sucks. Like, I hate that trigger on paper when you're sitting there just like.
I do like the 365 trigger better than the 320 trigger.
It is better. But when you're using it with the 365, you don't notice the subpar trigger. You don't. The 320 you still do. But honestly, this is going to sound horrible. The Legion trigger isn't as good as the X series triggers, the X Compact and the X Carry. Those two triggers are better than the Legion trigger. They had shorter take-ups. They were a little bit heavier, but it was that long take-up on the Legion that just killed that trigger. I mean, shoot, when you've got 4 guys all short stroking, 2 of which are, let's see, Aaron and Drew are both grandmasters, aren't they?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
they're grandmasters in one division at least.
Right. But I mean, even if they're just masters, to have them both short stroke a trigger.
They also shoot Walther though, which has like my P99. I was looking at the reset on that thing. I think it might be shorter than the PDP and the PPQ.
One of them was shooting the Legion at the time. Wasn't Drew shooting the Legion at the time? And
Drew was running a Legion.
Yeah. Now, great. His had a new trigger in it, but still, it's just.
But you put a new trigger in yours, and honestly, I don't think it was that much better.
It's okay. I don't short stroke it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a bad trigger pull profile. You know, I focus on that a lot in my reviews, like the trigger pull profile of how it feels, what it does, what the weight is, where it breaks, how long the reset is. And I think that's, for a lot of guns, it doesn't matter. You know, like if you're looking at the difference between a Glock 43, Glock 48, a Hellcat Pro, even down to like the Taurus GX4, like those triggers are all close enough that when you're shooting them, it doesn't matter. Like it makes no. Actually, the Hellcat Pro and the Glock 43X got almost identical times in our testing.
Builder, have you shot the GX4?
I haven't brought it yet.
I don't know. You have to ask work if I've shot something.
No, he's not shot that one yet.
I feel like the GX4 is the gun that everybody wanted the CZ P10M to be.
Oh, 100%.
The ergonomics, the trigger.
The gun that should have been.
I agree. I mean, I've handled it several times.
I want a backhand CZ for that. Really quick, so Kathleen's saying no one's shooting CZ anymore. I carried my P10S today. I carried P10C. I shot my P10F competition in my USPSA match this last one, which, okay, so embarrassing time. I shoot my P10F competition better than I shoot my Shadow 2. Like by a healthy margin. a sadly healthy margin considering the price discrepancy between
Now,
them.
how much of that do you think is the fact that the CZ-P10C has been your carry gun, your primary dry fire gun, the primary gun you've played with the most for so long? Because I can tell you, I can shoot a Glock 19 pretty darn well just due to muscle memory. Do you think that has anything to do with it?
I think it does have something to do with it. That is a part of it. I think too, the recoil impulse versus overall weight of your gun, because there is a discrepancy between those two things. Yes, weight reduces recoil. Weight also increases your split time when you're transitioning targets. It increases your draw time. It increase all of those things. It's harder to move a heavier gun fast. So if you've got a lighter gun that recoils close enough that you can keep it down, and yes, it's Big Johnson. Sometimes I will. You're coming to NRAM next year, right? Because I'm just gonna get a step ladder and
then I'm gonna edit the photo to make him look like he's half your height.
I love that.
He's gonna walk up to you, look you right in the belt buckle, and give you a piece of his mind.
But but no, like it is weird how those again, this is going like just like the triggers where you've got like good on paper triggers and good real life triggers. You've got good on paper guns and you've got good in real life guns. It's not that Shadow 2 isn't a good in real life gun. It's just that it takes more than that paper to be able to really tell the difference between guns. That's why I do all of these comparisons is, you know, you can look at these things on paper and like the Glock 43X versus the Hellcat Pro. Like by the way that they look, you would think that the Hellcat Pro would be a substantially like quicker shooting gun. It's not. They're almost identical. Go take the Hellcat Pro versus the Glock 48. The Glock 48 does have a little bit of an edge, but I mean, it's got a half-inch more barrel. Like it's just those things where you've got to shoot these things straight up against each other to really be able to see what the differences are. That's why when people ask like what kind of gun they should get, I always tell them to go to the rental range.
So when I go to the range, I'll normally bring 1 or 2 guns for myself to shoot.
Yep.
And a lot of times just 1. And if I'm bringing 2, they're usually very drastically different guns, different categories. When I took my buddy shooting, I brought a variety of guns. So I brought the P365 XL, the Hellcat Pro, the Hellcat with a 11-round and 13-round mag, and then I brought 48. He got to shoot all those side by side, so I got to, which is not something I get to do. And you do notice very minor differences between those guns that I don't think you can shoot them, put them down, and then pick them up a month later or even a week later and really be able to tell the difference.
Yeah,
you gotta keep them back to back.
Yeah, that's the reason why, like, one of the things that I do is I'll pick one up and take 2 or 3 shots through, put it down, and pick another one up immediately afterwards, because you can't, there's just stuff that you can't tell. Really? Hey, so CloverTac says NRAM 2023 Indy. You're coming, right? That means you're coming to the Indy NRAM, because if you are, we're going to meet up, because there's going to be a lot of Midwestern people there who don't get out to these things since they're always like in other regions. But I think he goes to SHOT too, I think. So
I've been carrying since I was 21, got my concealed carry permit, and that was only 6 years ago. When I started out,
I know.
The only guns were the 43 and the 42, and then you had 19 full-size M&Ps. Those were your only options. You had, I think the SIG P320 might have been around at that point. Maybe, but it was only in the
early.
Yeah, I mean, everything was
back in the day of them shooting themselves.
Yeah, you had the Shield, the Glock 42, Glock 43, and then everything else was Glock 19 or bigger.
See, now when I started carrying, I was 18, and I started with a Glock 30. Because 45 don't shrink.
The worst part is I was selling real estate, so I wore a suit every day. If you're a thin guy trying to conceal a gun in a suit, it's not easy. It's not.
A vest makes a big difference.
It does, or a sweater instead of a coat.
I did a lot of what I started doing was dress slacks and a sweater during the cooler months.
I was going to say you're in North Carolina, so that's not the place that you want to be dressing like that year round.
Yeah, you definitely can. Really, what I ended up doing was IWB with a 40. I actually did the smart carry. Are you guys familiar with that?
No.
It's this weird pouch thing that you wear and you try to get low enough on your hips, but if you're not careful, it'll ride up and it looks like you're wearing a Depends. So, but it was the only way I could carry a gun, and I had to do that with a 43. But
yeah.
It did work, but if I ever had to get to that gun, I did not get under 3 seconds draw. And at that time, I could draw sub-second, no problem, from a normal IWB setup. And I could not get under 3 seconds.
That's pretty impressive. That was back in the day.
That was when I was dry firing 15 to 30 minutes a day.
Who has time to do
all
that?
Draws. I wasn't running the type of business I'm running now.
Right.
You're young, so.
I'll say I was just watching another what's the name of that compressed air system?
The Air Force Texan? Oh, no. Sorry.
Where you replace the barrel and it actually has perceptible recoil.
Bald's got one or had one.
Yeah. I kind of want to try one of those. Like, they're nifty looking, but I've heard that it's only like maybe half the effective recoil. Cool Fire, that's it. Clovertech's got it. It's Cool Fire. Big John's got it too.
If I was going to do that, I'd probably just get a airsoft gun. Get a CO2 one with a slide sight.
Yeah, but then you're not working with your stuff, you know?
A lot of these airsoft guns are getting pretty darn close. I don't know. I could never get used to. Did you guys ever play with the CERT guns?
Yeah, we played with CERT guns. We did that while training with Condition Red Response up there.
Oh, yeah, the laser ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
The ergonomics are so drastically different than a Glock, even on the Glock one.
Yeah.
I haven't tried the M&P one, so I can't tell you on that.
It's pretty.
That's the one we used, and it was fine.
Yep. Okay. The Glock ones are drastically different. It's honestly distracting, and it's hard to use that system.
Yeah, it's they had both. They had one M&P and one Glock, and they were pretty close, but I mean it's sad the majority of the use of those that we got, it was while we were sitting in a room waiting for people to go through low light runs.
Yeah, that's true. We played with them a lot.
Yeah, they were fun. That was still, I can't believe how long ago that was. That was 2019, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
That's been a long time. That was fun, though.
It was fun.
Too bad only one of us is a decent shooter.
And we'll never know who.
Never know. You lie. You text him, you're like, it's me, right? You didn't because you're scared of the answer.
Have you informed Harrison about this conversation of ours?
I don't know. Did I? Harrison, have we talked about this?
No.
Okay, so we went up to Fort Wayne and we did this 2-day course. It was like an afternoon and evening and then a full day the next day. And it was fun and extremely informative. It was an advanced pistol movement and low light. So we were doing everything from shooting on the move, shooting around barricades and walls, figuring out cover and concealment, figuring out movement, and then it moved into the first night we actually shot with lights. So it was at a range, pitch black, shooting with flashlights, figuring out good holds. And that's actually one of the places I decided that I actually like shooting with a handheld just as much, or if not more than an on pistol light.
It was more effective.
Yeah. So all this happened, and Builder and I were easily in the top 3 or 4 of the class. You know,
We were hands down the top 2 without being cocky at all.
So about 6 months ago or so, one of the guys who runs that had posted on one of their Facebook pages about how they had this class, and there was neither Builder nor I had gone through the prerequisites. Okay, so they let us jump into this because they'd seen us shooting, and in this Facebook post, he was explaining why they don't let people jump prerequisites, and it's because out of the handful of people that they've had, there was this one class where one of the people was like good enough, basically, and it was ours, and we don't know if it was him or me. We're not sure which one it was.
So what really happened was he was looping us in together because we went together.
Yeah.
It's definitely not the guy that won the shooting competition. Definitely wasn't me. Sorry, I said that.
By how much? with you and your comp?
I was running an open gun.
When you go to a local class like that, even when you go to these big name trainers, I've only shown up to one class where there were a significant number of really good shooters, and that was Ernest Langdon's class.
I was surprised at the level of shooters in this level 3+ class that we were taking.
I showed up to now granted it was the basic course, but Kyle DeFore, me and one other guy and he was a IDPA shooter. He and I were the only ones that could print decent groups on B8s, and everybody else, their handgun skills were not that good. And this was a 20-person class.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So 2 out of 20 could and I will say I was shooting very bad that day. I was having trouble getting consistent 90s. And the worst thing is I'd shot 3 days before and I was getting 97s, 98s. But I'd also been shooting a dot consistently. And then I showed up to that class with irons because everybody told me to shoot irons at the force class. But and now he switched to a dot. But every class I've been to, most of these guys that attend, it's mental masturbation for them. That's
I learned a lot in that class.
Yeah. I was surprised because at the time we were both hitting USPSA pretty hard. I was probably shooting the best that I ever have.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a big class. There was 8 or 10 people there work? Something like that.
I think it was between 10 to 12, I think.
Okay.
But yeah,
and I mean, I don't say this as patting myself on the back or anything because work was shooting right there next to me. But we were going, when we were shooting drills and stuff, we were doing at least 50% faster than everybody else in the class. And our groups were at least 50% smaller.
Yep.
I mean, it was surprising.
Now, I mean, I think a big part of that is the majority of the drills we were doing were movement drills.
Mm-hmm.
And when you shoot, and this is one of the things that I press for competition for, you do a lot of moving and shooting.
Yeah.
And, and these guys weren't used to moving and shooting. It's just something that's weird. So it was normal for us. That was something that we do all the time, every time we go out.
Except when they're trying to teach you how to use your footwork the right way.
Shut up. Yeah, they don't like grapevine sidesteps, and I grapevine sidestep
a lot.
It's a byproduct of. It's not even a byproduct of shooting. That's the bad part. It's a byproduct of being in the drum line and marching band. we grapevine step, and so I'm really freaking good at it. Like I can grapevine step as fast as people can like sidewalk step, and just as safe because I'm used to it. But really quick, covering what Clove Tack said. So Clover, I live an hour away, so I will 100% be at the 23 SHOT Show.
No, that's SHOT Show.
No, SHOT.
Would you move to Vegas?
Well, I don't know. Well, that guy. I mean, Harrison, are we going to 23 SHOT?
I honestly doubt I'm going this year. It just doesn't make sense, and I'm going to see what prices come down to because I was looking. The only way I'm going is if I stay at the Venetian or the Palazzo because you burn so much time otherwise traveling back and forth. It really isn't worth it. And I was looking at almost $5,000 to go for like 4 days. Stay 3 solid days there and then a day on each end.
And that's not a place that you can Airbnb it like the other places are.
Oh, you can Airbnb and you can do it cheap, but you're going to spend so much time in Ubers.
Right. That's what I mean. For like Indy, or when we went down to Knob Creek, like those were within cities where Airbnbs were around. Like there were residential areas pretty close to them, and no further away than hotels. But yeah, down there, it's going to take you a long time to get in.
SHOT Show, and just when you get into the Venetian, you're looking at 10 minutes probably realistically once you know where you're going, just to get into the show.
Yeah.
And it ends up being longer, and you need a break at some point. So you're either going to go, and you guys don't drink. So you're either going to go and you're going to sit at a bar and you're going to drink, or you're going to sit at a restaurant and you're going to eat. Either way, you're not going to stand up feeling at your best.
Yeah.
You're doing that. So it's much easier to have a room right there. You can go up to your hotel room, take a 2-hour nap, get back down, and you can hit it hard.
When I went, we did 3 days. We did not stop at all. We walked the entire show, and we were absolutely exhausted by the end of it.
You guys are also more or less looking at things and taking notes for afterwards versus meeting with people, having meetings, trying to be,
that's what we were doing. I went with the gun shop.
Yeah, but I'm trying to convince them to do different things than, hey, let me get on your dealer list to sell.
That's true.
So there's a little more finesse.
For me, like SHOT Show is a bucket list item. Like that's something that I really want to do. But I feel like the NRA show is more akin to my purpose in going to the shows. I'm able to have more personal contact with the people versus, because I'm especially for what I do, I don't, SHOT Show would be cool, but it wouldn't be as beneficial to me for any of the stuff that I do than NRAM.
Honestly, I had better luck when I was at NRAM.
Right.
Because everybody, they don't care as much about speaking to you when you're when you're one of a ton of people there for business. Right. Whereas at NRAM, they're like you're a breath of fresh air.
Right. Yeah. Like they're busy talking to customers the whole time. So when a vendor comes up to talk like business stuff and they know something about the product or the business or that kind of stuff, like it's a little bit of a change. It's no more, answering questions like, oh yeah, that's $500. Oh yeah, that's $500. Oh yeah, that's $500. It'll be in stores in 2 months. Like that kind of stuff. Like that's got to get old.
I will say flights are actually a lot cheaper than they're still normal prices. I thought they'd be $700-800, judging how flights everywhere else are right now.
Yeah. Well, and they're only going to get worse if gas prices go the way they're going.
Yeah.
So Soli Cortez asks, what do you guys think of Fort Scott munitions ammo? Have you tried the Tumble Upon Impact ammo? What about Lehigh Defense, Black Hills, Honey Badger, Extreme Defender rounds? Have you guys tried them? And what do you think?
I shot Extreme Defenders out of my 10 millimeter, but I didn't recover the projectiles. So all I can really tell you is they're spicy.
They are a spicy meatball.
Man, I'm old school. I stick with Federal HSTs and gold dots.
Well, the question was referring to states that you can't have hollow points in.
I mean, something that's not a standard full metal jacket, just pop a tiny little hole, is going to be better. So if you are stuck in a state where you can't have those, or where you can't have hollow points, then those are going to be better than just a standard full metal jacket.
Honestly,
so Federal used to make a round, I don't think they do anymore, called the Guard Dog.
Yeah.
And it was lead in the rear, polymer in the front, and then it was all coated.
Yeah.
So then when it would hit, the polymer would crush, it would expand, and then you'd have an expanding projectile.
That's like the Corbons, isn't it? Corbon did the same thing.
It's similar, yeah.
But I think the tumble, like, how fast do those tumbling rounds go? I've heard that they do tumble, but I don't know if they've got enough speed to really be able to get the tissue damage.
If they're light.
Well, when you get your mass too low, the problem comes if the guy's wearing a thick leather jacket or something.
Yeah,
you might not get the penetration you need. It might be an explosive force right up front, but if it doesn't get all the way through, it's not doing
right.
Good.
I mean, for something to cause tissue damage via tumble instead of expansion, you're looking at you need 2,000 feet per second ish. I mean, even something going 15 to 16 isn't going to do it. Like, you're looking at the ballistics expected from a rifle round out of something significantly under rifle round velocities. That's why rifles can pull it off and why pistols have to use expanding rounds. So, I mean, and again, it will do better because when it does tumble, you're going to get a little bit more energy dump in a different direction. But I still, I don't know. I've seen the tests and they look okay. But as you said, like you toss a heavy coat on and you're going to end up tumbling, the instant you hit that coat instead, and you're going to dump a lot of that energy in whatever the front layers are. So I don't know. Again, it's better than just a standard full metal jacket, maybe. But what do you guys think about running like different rounds in the same mag for subpar pistol, like subpar ammo, like 380 or something where you can't have a full metal jacket? Have you heard that? So basically,
yeah.
Like with 380, they'll run like hollow point full metal jacket, since the hollow points may not get the penetration they need or expand. You've got a full metal jacket there that will get through whatever it is, but you've also got the hollow point in case.
I don't really know what the hollow point's in case for, and it's so underpowered to begin with. Ballistically, I trust a quality 22 round like the punch.
Yeah,
more than a 380.
I agree with that.
I don't know if I would do that for 380 necessarily, but I would consider that if you're carrying a Glock 20 or a Smith 10 millimeter or something in bear territory.
Yeah,
we have a couple expanding rounds and then maybe a hard cast lead. But
I carry the Underwood.
Come to Jesus round.
My Glock 42, which I have been carrying more recently with the Dirk. I think Underwood makes it. I guess it's the penetrator round.
Mm-hmm.
Lehigh, it's gets their projectile and Underwood loads it.
Mm-hmm.
But I've heard mixed reviews on that, so I'm not really.
Have you seen the 9x18 barrels for the 42?
Speaking of what you just said, really quick,
liability on that with Lone Wolf making it.
Let's talk about the Dirk real quick, Harrison, because the Dirk is one of the lowest profile holsters, and it is freaking awesome, guys. Like if you've got what all do we make that for? The P365, the Glock 42, GX4. Do we do it for the Hellcat? I don't think we did. We did for the Hellcat. Okay. And the Ruger LCP and LCP2.
Yep. And it'll fit the LCP Max as well.
So these things now, mind you, the Singleton is the single most comfortable holster that I have ever worn.
Same.
They each kind of have their own purpose. The Singleton is more all-purpose. It's going to be a little more concealable in most situations. The Dirk is more of a low-profile grab-and-go holster.
Yep. And it is insanely comfortable. Like insanely comfortable.
If you're throwing if you carry your Hellcat with the 11-round mag, the Dirk's great. If you're carrying it with your 13-round mag, get a Singleton, throw a Dark on it. Different.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. But yeah, if you like a good low-profile holster, head over to harrysholsters.com. Check out the Dirk. You can use Work the Trigger for 10% off, and it is an awesome little package. So, sorry to side rail that, but I got to talk up the Dirk because that thing is awesome.
It's a cool holster, and I really enjoy it. Like I've been carrying that in the shop a lot recently because I'm wearing. It's hot as hell out. So wearing very lightweight clothing is perfect for it.
If I had a little dinker gun, I would probably get a Dirk. But
A-Dubs asks,
I think the smallest gun I have is my G45.
yeah, because I bought the 43.
Uh-huh.
Does it have clearance for threaded barrel? I don't think so. Yeah. We kept that one relatively close just because we were going for low profile.
Yeah.
You know, and it's very rare that we find threaded barrels with the 365s. It really is. I haven't seen a whole lot of them.
Pretty much everybody that has one is also running a comp on top of it. So
right. So you're looking at a bigger holster, in which case the dirk won't work anyway. So.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen, I am going to bugger off for the night. I am tired.
That's fair. I think I don't think this is going to last too much longer because I'm starting to slow down too. something about working outside for like 4 hours and like 90. Yeah. I mean, granted, it was only 90 for probably 2.5 hours of that.
Yeah, I mean, the shade hit eventually.
It was 106 here yesterday.
Oh my gosh. Is that heat index or straight up temperature?
I think that was heat index.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've been down in the lower hundreds heat index this week, but we hit 109 on Monday.
Last week felt a lot hotter, even though it wasn't.
Yeah.
Because I finally just, my body adapted.
Yep.
I can now work out in it all day. I just got to keep chugging water. Whereas last week, I'm like 2 hours in, I'm like, I'm dying.
Yep.
Cool. You guys have a good night. Thanks, everybody in the chat.
Good seeing you.
Catch you later, man.
See you guys.
Okay, he's gone. Now we can talk about him. No, let's see.
His son definitely needs a beard. I will say that.
He does. Oh, he should do like a beard
for Halloween or something.
Yeah, and see like how much he looks like. Because I think he's going to look like creepily a lot like him. Mostly because Builder, when he shaves, looks like a literal child.
That doesn't surprise me.
So, hey, if you were to go with a threaded barrel for a 365, what threaded barrel would you pick? I think there's only like maybe 2 or 3 out there, but
the True Precision, I guess. I mean, that's one you told me to get, I think.
Yeah, So I've got a Killer Innovations barrel in my P10S, and dude, that thing is friggin' awesome. Like it's it's a decent barrel when your accuracy improves from a CZ barrel. You know, I actually don't know about P365s. I know, so the Legion barrel is crap. Like it is just, it's the type of barrel that throws a 3-inch group at 20 yards. Pretty, not even 20, probably a 3-inch group at 10 yards. Like it's just not overly accurate. And I think a lot of it is, it's built to be able to take a lot of reloads. So the throat's really big, the chamber's a little bit, on the bigger side. But like CZ, their barrels are friggin' accurate.
So, all right.
Yeah, go for it.
P10S.
Yep.
I finally got to shoot mine.
Yeah.
The other day. What's your thought on like the role where that gun fits? Because it's kind of in an odd category. It
is. It very much is, because it is a little bit smaller than the old M&P Compact 1.0. Their 12-round M&P. It's a little bit bigger than a Glock 26, just like the P10C is a little bit bigger than the Glock 19, and so on. For me, so the P10S has kind of turned into my carry gun. And the reason is because I like everybody likes smaller guns during the summer. You're wearing less, you're wearing lighter clothes, shorts, and maybe not a belt. I mean, I always have a belt on with it, but it has kind of become I don't want to have to dress around my gun, but I also am more comfortable than carrying a tiny gun, because looking at that over shooting like the Hellcat or the 365 or the GX4, it shoots so much better. Despite and you get a couple extra rounds, but it shoots so much better than those that I guarantee my split times are going to be faster. It's just going to be way better. And so that, to me, that's kind of where it's set. It's my summer carry when I don't want to have to dress around my gun, but I'm not trying to really keep a super low profile.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that gun, and I think that also the way you're kind of running with a threaded barrel.
Yep.
And having the ability to suppress it. There's something, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's watching too many movies. There's just something cool about having a relatively tiny yet still shootable gun.
Yep.
With a suppressor. And I want to hear what you think about it once you shoot some 165s through it.
I need to, yeah.
That'll be a game changer.
I'll say another really cool thing about it is, and this is going to be 100% a plug. So with the P10S, with the WTT 3D extensions, you can run 15 and 19 round magazines through this thing. So I was playing around, tossed my suppressor on the end. It gets a little bit heavy, right? You toss the 19 round mag in, and now you've got a gun that is an inch shorter than the P10F. Like if you were to run that same profile in a P10F, but you've got the same capacity. The grip is actually just as comfortable as a P10F. Like it is just a cool little package. And, you can swap from that back down to a 12 round mag and have just this tiny little thing. It's just, I love that thing. And the fact that they maintained holster compatibility, that's one of the things that's driving me absolutely crazy lately with companies. And it's your fault because of what we do is like the Hellcat Pro. That gun needs holster compatibility.
You can shove it in.
Yeah.
The RDP holster. But it's probably within like 2% dimensionally of what it needs to be to properly fit.
Right.
So close.
But there's no reason that it shouldn't, other than to try to give people a reason to buy more stuff. But like they should have made that identical so that you could buy a PDP Pro holster, or not a PDP, the Hellcat Pro holster, and run a standard Hellcat in it. But I don't think gun companies understand holster length and comfort.
They don't understand that. They don't understand holster support from manufacturers. Like even the companies that are good at it, all they do is they'll machine a aluminum block that matches the exterior dimensions of the gun,
yep,
and then send it off. And I have a Advantage Arms Glock 22 conversion kit for my Glock 19. The slide is aluminum and it has like an anodized finish on it.
Uh-huh.
Dimensionally, you mic that with a pair of calipers, you're not going to notice any difference between that and a stock Glock slide.
Yeah.
You throw it in a holster, it feels completely different.
Yeah.
Because even if you Cerakote it, you're going to have a much slicker finish than that anodized aluminum.
Yep.
So I really wish they just provide CAD files and you could get an actual
that would be really nice versus having to custom make it all. Really quick, going on what Kathleen said down there. So yes, they do make barrels slightly sloppy for ammo variants. One of the perfect examples is this right here. The P10F.
You don't think nobody can see you work?
They can't at all?
No, it's just you frozen. You've been like that for the past hour.
Seriously? Okay. Can you see? You can see me though, right?
Yeah, I thought you did it on purpose.
No. Let's see if that cleans up in the thing. That's weird. Anyway, so the P10F competition is a 5-inch version of the P10F. It is about half as accurate as my standard P10F. Oh, here we go. We're going to find out if nope, now it's just a black screen. You want to hold the chat for a sec? I'm going to hop out and pop back in.
All right. So
I
think Workman needs to try to design a pistol. I think he needs to try to design like an old classic 22 all metal, something like the old Army Gillespie's or maybe Baby Browning style guns. That'd be really cool.
All right, I'm back. What did you say about me? I heard I think Work needs to try to design a pistol.
Yep.
What was after that?
Basically describing an all metal semi-automatic 22, super high quality. The Army Gillespie's weren't super high quality, but if you look at them compared to guns today, they seem like they're high quality, even though the metal's probably junk, the metallurgy. But cool, simple machining. Yep. I love those old guns.
Oh, all right, cool. I'm back.
I want there to be guns again that make you feel classy when you're carrying them.
Yeah.
And we're getting close, but we're not quite there.
In order to have a gun that makes you feel classy when you carry it, you're going to spend thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Literally, I have one, and you spend thousands of dollars. There needs to be one in the like $600 to $800 price range.
I don't think you can do that today and have the features people are going to require. But
what features do you think they're going to require?
Decent set of sights.
Yep.
Good texturing.
Yep.
And not shoot like complete crap.
Right.
I think you're going to have a hard time meeting that. I look at a basic service pistol is between $500 and $800 now.
Right.
I don't think you're going to be able to do that with a metal handgun. I just don't, unless it's made overseas.
I mean, yeah.
And when I say
that
overseas,
part is the because you've got a lot of metal handguns. You've got the Berettas, you've got the CZs. They're all made overseas.
Even the CZs, though, I don't think they could push a new design out to meet the price points of what their legacy 75s are.
Right. Yeah, the engineering expense would require an increased price for payback.
But if they can meet something that's under $1,500, if you can hit $1,200, that put it at that level where people can pretty much anybody can save and justify it within a year if they committed enough to it. Like the Staccato, anybody can afford a Staccato if they're willing to wait 2 to 3 years to save for it.
Right.
And I think this gun should be something that people have to scrounge and save for, not.
It shouldn't be a throwaway for sure. Not just I guess I'll buy that. It should be an intentional buy.
Yeah. And I really think that's where SIG's doing a lot of stuff. SIG is almost close with the AXG line.
Yes. That's what it popped into my head because it can't be a Glock clone. It can't be a metal frame Glock clone. It also, I think it needs to be a separate platform. It needs to not be a current platform. If you're really going for it, it needs to have features that are unique. Like the AXG almost came out too late in the game for the P20 coming out, where it's almost, it's obviously not a metal frame Glock clone, but
have you seen one of the Equinox versions in person?
Not in person, no.
So they use nickel coating on the controls, and all the silver looking stuff is nickel coated.
Yeah.
Which has it should be chrome because it has a different luster that just doesn't it looks like it's already halfway rusted.
Uh-huh.
And then all they did was they took their regular nitride finish and then they just go and they polished the flats on the slides. They should have used a PVD or something much deeper.
I have seen those, yeah.
And it's just disappointing. I was really excited about that gun until I saw one in person. I'm like, this looks like you took this $500 one out of the case, put an AXG frame on it, and polished the slide.
Right.
And that's it, which is what they did do.
Right.
I want it to be like charge an extra $200, but put a little more quality into the finish.
Yeah. So Big Johnson says, what about the Walther SF? So I think the Walther SF was dated when it came out. Immediately dated. Because the PPQ was dated. And they took too many PPQ styling cues to stuff into that gun. The trigger quality is there. The frame design is not there. It shoots weird. And the look is just dated. And whatever it comes out, it needs to be either cutting edge new or classic. But you can't have dated. It's like when you walk into a house,
I actually
go into the bathroom and there's brass fixtures everywhere and wallpaper. That's old, but it's not classy old. It's dated.
Where they messed up with the steel frame is just some of their cuts on the slide are a little too modern, and the rest of the gun looks a little too retro. I think they could have switched that up a little bit, and really got a classic gun that people would feel like is a real heirloom item. And maybe actually shipped it with a cool set of wood grips.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if that could be done, but it would look really cool.
Here, we're going to toss this up there. So there's the Q5 matched steel frame. So this is a PPQ slide. Yes, it's got a couple of
all the badging off of it. All the badging. Get rid of.
The frame is okay. Like from here,
the frame is great.
From here up, I love the frame. I love from the slide down to the grip. I hate the Walther bulge. I don't like the Walther grip shape. I know that there's a lot of people who do. I'm not a fan of it.
I honestly don't have a problem aesthetically looking at this with anything but the slide.
Yep.
Slide it looks like a $500 gun slide on a $1,500 gun.
I think this slide would have been better on it. The PDP slide is a significantly better looking slide. I don't like it as much for carry just because of the size of it, but it's a better looking slide, and it would have looked better on that gun.
Now, but really what I want to see is we do have some options in the duty size gun. I want to see something along the lines of a P365 XL, a Glock 48, a Hellcat Pro, something in that size range, or P365.
Yeah. I think the Hellcat Pro is kind of going to be the direction that a lot of companies are going to be going in. That super thin frame, 15 rounds, because even though it's only slightly smaller than a 19, it is noticeably smaller than a 19. A Glock 19, that is. So, I don't know. I posted on that a while ago in a video, and there's a lot of people that think that too, that's kind of the direction that they're going. And I think between the Micro 9s, the P365, the Hellcats, and those, I do think that compact guns are in trouble.
Yeah. They need to increase their capacity. I mean, the problem is when you only have 15 rounds in a P320 compact or a Glock 19, they do shoot considerably better than the other guns. Right. But most people go into a gun store to buy them. I don't think they're going to see that right off the bat.
Right.
The Kimber Evo 9, Kimber as a company, man, they get so much right, and then they just screw it up. Like that one, the one right under the Raptor, man. That is a classy looking gun from
this one right here. Yeah, I'm trying to click on it, but it won't let me.
Yeah.
Because that's apparently the Kimber website's broken.
Kimber does a great job. Their Micro 9s and their Micro 380s look great.
But what are the mag capacities on these?
Like 7 or 6.
That's not competitive anymore. That's like CZ bringing out the P10M. That doesn't fly in the world of competitive firearms today. And I don't mean like competitive like competition. I mean sales competitive, market competitive. If you're bringing out a gun, you have to bring it out with a minimum of 10 rounds.
And Michael got a Micro 9. He got a Kimber Micro 9 because he got a really good deal on one.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, I really like this. He was dry firing it. We went and shot at the range. It doesn't shoot as well as a GX4.
No.
And
Kimbers are hard hitting. Like the small ones hit hard.
Yeah. They're a lot of recoil. And then we got about 3 mags through it. And then just failure to feed.
Really?
Yes. The gun started having so many reliability issues. We could not get through a mag. It ran flawless for like 3 mags.
Yeah.
And then just choked. But Kimber will tell you, hey, you got a 500 round break-in period.
Yeah. See, and that goes to what Big Johnson said. Kimber QC is hit and miss, and it really is. And that's been getting more and more obvious as time goes on. So Ninja Dad, which awesome screen name, says P365 with an Icarus metal frame, which is what you were alluding to earlier.
Which is what, and I have one. I've got one I built out with a Norso slide and a Harrington comp. And I love that thing. That thing shoots amazing. It's got an RMRCC on it.
And I think that's what you're what the goal is for this conversation with what you're aiming for. It's just a factory version of that.
Yes. And something that somebody can walk into a store and pick up, not, hey, you've got to wait. Like I had to wait till everything was in stock.
Yeah.
I ordered that gun over a 3-month period.
Yep.
And it's never available all at once. And also, you've seen the Mischief Machine stuff.
Yeah.
They're doing some really cool stuff with their frames.
Yep.
But the ergonomics on that, those grips are way too wide. It's Glock 19 width.
Yeah.
You lose all the advantage of a P365 XL when you run this.
Yeah. They really need a metal frame. And one of the things that metal frames give you the ability to do that I don't think nearly enough companies take advantage of is run extremely thin grips. You don't need the polymer heft on the sides of them to be able to give them form. I mean, you can literally have nothing in there.
Look at what's going to the AXG.
Yeah. But then it also lets you run grip panels. So you can give the user 100% customizable shape in your grip. So why don't they? So many of them are giving you these out-of-the-box preformed ones. Is it because of grip prices?
Well, they've come out with a thin set of grips, which I haven't bought yet because I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that frame because I don't love the look. I think if I'd had to do it over again, I originally planned to put a Parker Mount Machine XL barrel with a comp on it with a gray gun slide when they come out because the gray gun slide is supposed to be a classic look. It'll fit it perfectly, but who knows if that'll ever happen.
Right.
So if I didn't do that, I think I'd switch up the configuration of that gun. I think I'd rather actually have a SIG P365 version. But I want to get locked to make me – point is I want to get locked to make me a custom set of grips.
Yeah.
Or white with the Harry's Holsters logo in it. If I end up selling that frame or getting rid of it or something, I can't use those grips on a SIG P365 link because it would be cool. You've got me wanting to do a suppressor build now.
Yeah. Perfect, James. I think the P365 is the gun that James Bond would carry now. If they didn't have, I'm sure the TV or the movies probably have Walther contracts and crap, but
HK actually.
Oh, is it HK? Okay.
They do Walther and HK.
I think that the 365 just would make the most sense for that character in their world because it is, I think I've told you this, it is identical in dimension to a PPK. Identical.
Yeah.
But you get 10 rounds of 9mm versus 6 of 380. Or actually, I think it's 6 of 32, isn't it? Too? I don't think you gain a round when you go to 32 in those.
I really don't know. I just wish people would kind of get their stuff together on figuring out where they're going to go. Like Big Johnson and I were talking today on the phone about Staccato. So they've come out with a comped C2 now.
Yeah.
All they did was extend the nose on it. They're doing a thread on comp.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Those are hard to find threaded barrels for, so getting them from the factory would make it a much easier job.
Fair, I get that, but like if you look at the Staccato XC, that gun looks like it should.
It does.
This looks like an afterthought.
What's it called? Do you know?
Go on Staccato's site. I'm sure they'll.
I'm looking. Not there. Staccato ways to win. No. C2. Nope. Because I want to find this thing.
They might just be selling the parts on their site from Dawson, but Dawson Precision Staccato V2.
Here, I'll bring it up because I hate that look on 1911s. I hate it. That's the reason. Like Bull Armory has a bunch of comped guns that have that profile. I hate it. It looks stupid. It looks.
And honestly, I think Bull has actually executed better than Staccato did.
Yeah.
And that's sorry. That's
right. Yeah, it's well, and let's be honest, like 2011s look the best with full rails anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I honestly don't want to see them go with a full rail, but I want to see them extend that rail out and then maybe slant the bottom of that. Actually, Big Johnson sent me a link or sent me a picture. You got to check out one of the new Terran tactical guns. And, this was a full size, I'm sure, steel frame But if they'd have done something similar to that, to where it's set up just like my P365 with the Icarus frame, the frame extends out, you have a slant up from the comp, and it looks like everything was meant to be.
Right.
It doesn't look like an afterthought.
Did you say it was a Terran Tactical gun that had a comp on it?
Yeah, Terran Tactical Comp 2011.
I'm looking for it. Dang it.
They were FDE, or I'm not seeing it show up online. This might be something that his store got in. I can text you a picture if you want me to.
No, that's all right. I was going to toss it up on the chat, but up in the yeah, I can't find it. Oh, here's something. It's not it, but looks good all the same. But bam, that looks nifty.
Yes, that's it.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there we go. Sand Viper here. I just saw it in the chat.
See, that is a natural look.
Yeah, and that's a good look, but because it looks finished, it looks like the comp belongs on that gun. Whereas the other ones, it looks like it's just popped on the end.
Staccato could have done that, and they could charge $1,000 premium with keeping the gun completely the same. Otherwise, all they're doing is extending the frame, and I get that might be a $1,200 upgrade. I'm not sure, but I think people buy the hell out of it.
Well, I think part of it too is Staccato they are walking a very thin line between variability in product, price point, and sales quantities, because their sales jumped drastically and they did not scale well. They were going out of stock and their QC was dropping. So I think they're kind of trying to play the catch-up game. They're trying to make things like if it really is just a Dawson, basically factory Dawson setup, it's because it doesn't require as much on their end.
Yeah.
You know, they're not having to produce new comps. They're not having to produce new barrels. It's just that offering from them. So they're going to increase sales without increasing too much of the variability that's introduced with new product lines.
And maybe they're a little afraid they're going to get towards that like Atlas territory, or just because they are that brand right now. If you want a 2011 that is, you know, it's not a double stack 1911 like an SPS or or Metro Arms or one of these imports. Again, somebody that's really dedicated, even somebody like a teacher or a firefighter or a cop that's not making Indiana money, as far as at least what cops make, you know, making North Carolina money. They work a little bit of off duty and they commit to saving for it. That's something they can afford in 2 to 3 years.
Yep.
Whereas you get it over a certain point that.
Yeah. Well, it's right. They are pretty much the affordable 2011s. You've got two options for affordable 2011s. You've got Bull Armory, which are unobtainium. You can't get them. They're affordable.
Bull really aren't that affordable anymore, at least if you have a dollar.
They're $1,800 ish now. So you're still beating the Staccatos by between $400 and $600.
See, that's not enough for me to buy a Bull over.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like it's affordable, but it's not affordable enough to.
The quality of components on a Bull is much cheaper than a Staccato, in my opinion. Yeah. But the actual fitting of the gun, the trigger's better, the action, everything else is much better on the Bull.
Yeah.
So
but the quality of components, you got to wonder what's that going to affect longevity wise?
Yeah.
You know, you may get a better gun for the first 5,000 rounds. What's it going to do in 20,000 rounds?
Yeah. And I might end up with a Bull for holster stuff, but otherwise.
I would love one. I reached out to him to try to get the 4.25 inch, and they just haven't had them. And here's the crappy part is every time I get the notice that they do have them, they only ever have like one or two of them. And it's always just after I bought something. I got a notification 2 days after I bought the PDPF. I'm like,
money and availability rarely match up.
Yeah, and Big Johnson says plus their mags aren't compatible with other 2011s, which
that's a major.
That does suck. Yeah.
And
so you got to go proprietary. Can you get them, and how much are they going to be?
So, all right, we were having this conversation. Why isn't somebody taking, the 2011 format and scaling it down to work with like Hellcat Pro Mags or something like that, making it
Right.
better. That's what I'd like to see. Like Wilson Combat honestly got a lot right with the EDC X9.
Mm-hmm.
They just made the gun too freaking big.
That gun is a weird, like, it's a weird amalgamation to me.
Yeah.
Because it's got a lot of 1911 cues and a lot of Beretta cues.
I own one. I paid full price for it. I waited the 6 months that they told me it was going to be like 18 months, and I ended up getting it in 6. I paid full price for that. That gun is an $1,800 to $2,200 gun. It is not the $3,000.
How much did you pay for it? Do you pay $3,000?
$3,300 with the upgrades and stuff. And it's before.
Wilson's problem is volume. They can't sell the volume that they need to reduce price, which sounds super contrary, but it's true.
I think they could, but they'd need to redesign a little bit of that gun.
Yeah.
They could when they released it. Now, but even when they released it, they had issues keeping up with demand. So
they're just not right. Their facility isn't high enough, specialized volume enough, because they're an aftermarket company.
Yeah. Who
decided to make some guns, which oftentimes produces very good guns. But again, it's the scalability of that manufacturing process. They're going to build their guns like they built their guns. They're going to do one-off custom stuff, not custom, but they're going to build slow. They're going to build expensive, versus building fast and cheap. And it's just impossible to scale a manufacturing process like that. You can't scale job shop manufacturing.
No grip safety, non-hinge trigger, though. They got a lot right just in the general format. And they, it's not 2011, 1911 compatible for the most part. I want to see somebody else come in and do that. And I feel like Staccato as a company is probably pretty well, they're probably pretty well positioned to do that.
Yeah, they're probably one of the only ones that's making consistent enough money to be able to dump money into R&D and maintain their product flow to maintain that income. Like, I mean, shoot, we just saw it with Triarch.
Yeah,
they dumped they funneled too much money away before they produced. They didn't have their current production set up well enough so that they could use the money that was coming in from another project, and they did it anyway. And you just can't do that.
With the whole Triarch thing, I'm hearing such mixed messages. I don't want to speak on it because
it's the second company that guy's taken under. So
I'm not going to say anything till they're the final thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not easy, and it's not easy developing a gun from the ground up. And if they do, I mean, the Wilson EDC X9 had a lot of troubles initially that I don't know if people know about. So
all of the guns that have been designed ground up, like the Wilson, and
I will say this: the people at Wilson who are designing that gun, they were gunsmiths, not necessarily gun designers,
right?
And maybe if they had more people on the true design side, the mix of them might have worked out a little better.
Uh-huh. You definitely need both. You need smiths who understand, because there is an elegance in the machine of a firearm that is very difficult to understand unless you're in it. But at the same time, it's very hard to see outside the box of that elegancy when that's all you know. That's you need a combination of the tech guys and the shooting guys.
So do you think Springfield's going to be the one to do it?
I don't think so. I don't think Springfield's going to be the one to do it.
So do you think their 2011 they're coming out with is going to be a true like 2011, or do you think it's going to be something that takes XD mags?
I didn't know they were coming out with the 2011.
Supposedly August.
Is that information that you're supposed to tell people?
That's information that was given to me by somebody that saw where they had filed for some trademark stuff.
Okay.
And I think
they
saw something. They got like a notification for a product page
Okay.
Popped up on the distributor that wasn't supposed to pop up or something.
So if they are coming out with the 2011, my guess would be it is an Eastern European knockoff of a 2011, like a bull armor.
Or Turkish.
My guess. Now whether that means that they will modify it enough to run a smaller mag or a mag that they currently have, I don't know. That would be genius on their part if they did. If they took their 2011 and made it use their mags, freaking genius.
I mean, really, if they make a 2011 format gun, but it's not a true 2011, and I think that's something we have to make the distinction.
So Big Johnson just said that Springfield has a 2011 and he knows who's making it.
Yeah, it's probably Tezos or something.
Tell me, I'll never say it because we don't do live streams enough to like me actually. But shoot me a message about that. But I won't read it while we're doing the live stream because this is the stupid part. Like I love spitballing this crap. I would rather sit here and like BS about what I think it's gonna be and then find out 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
But I would say it's probably going to be an Eastern European knockoff, probably running stock mags.
For like the speculation is their Brownings are Turkey.
Yeah, they are.
So with the SA-35 being Turkish,
yeah.
I mean Eastern
Where's
European.
Bull made?
Bull's Israel.
Okay.
So,
but I mean, Turkey is an optimal place to.
What a lot of people don't know is Israel does a lot of metal injection molding.
Yeah.
And metal injection molding, believe it or not, like 90% or something of their market is firearms parts.
That's MIM is a great technology if utilized correctly,
but
designed correctly.
I was really shocked because when I was looking into it, it is pretty much dang near exclusively the firearms industry, whereas I expect the firearms industry to be like 4% or something. Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to think of what other industry they would use that for, and I can't think of another industry where their internal components are a high enough volume metal to need high. I mean, it can't be used in aircraft. It can't be used in automotive. What are you?
South Korean. I'm pretty sure that's a South Korean company. He said he put it in the chat, but
which one are we talking about?
Alpha Foxtrot.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, they're also the ones that were going to make a 2011 using the Glock 48 mag. Remember that SHOT Show?
Wait, what? Go back on that. Sorry.
It was a company that
okay, so
Alpha
these
Fox.
guys, those guys right there. He put it in the main chat, so I'm going with it. I'm not going to pretend like it's a.
Yeah, he said Alpha Foxtrot.
Okay. Looks like they don't have one yet. All these are 19s, but
I think Alpha Foxtrot. Remember that 2011? You and Builder and I we couldn't decide whether we liked it or not. I think Dave might have been in on that.
Where was that?
2011 that takes shield mags.
Oh yes. Okay, yeah, I do slightly remember that conversation. Man, nobody should design anything around those shield mags. I'm sorry, they shouldn't. Not unless honestly, Glock should really reach out to Shield and try to help them with those mags.
Yeah. Because
the success of Shield will only help them in sales, and Shield needs some help, from what I have heard.
I've heard I know people that have had issues, and I know people that they've run a lot of rounds through them. They're doing great. So
yeah, but those ones that the quantity of people who have had issues is so much higher than the quantity of people who have issues with stock mags on anything that it's terrifying.
Yeah, fair. But Springfield might be in a good place. I'm pretty sure Alpha Foxtrot's is Daewoo, or like it's a South Korean subsidiary.
Yeah, Daewoo's. They're the ones that did the that were helping Lionheart out originally.
Yeah. it might not be Daewoo, but I'm pretty sure it's a South Korean forger. It's some sort of forging company.
Yeah. Well, that could be. Excuse me. That could be cool. I mean, it will be. Any new guns to the market are awesome, but
yeah,
I dig it.
Well, I can tell you this, man. I am getting tired, and
Yep, me too. I was just gonna say that.
Meeting together tomorrow, so
yep. All right. Well, everybody in the chat, thank you guys for participating. Thanks for hanging out. I'm not sure how often we'll be doing these, but
real quick, it was the AF 1911 Alpha Foxtrot 1911 S15. So
okay.
Springfield might surprise us.
Maybe I wouldn't. I guess when you said that, I still don't think that that's going to be enough of a groundbreaker.
It depends how well it's executed.
True.
And the way I'm seeing it, Alpha Foxtrot, the way they executed it, not right. But I will say Springfield has done a pretty good job recently, for the most part, with how they make things look.
Yeah.
Their visuals are really good.
Yeah, I agree. They really, I mean, the Hellcat Pro really did what I thought they should do in the first place, which was replace the XD line with the Hellcat, because the Hellcat's so much better than the XD lines. Like, that is, I mean, I'm curious if they're going to keep bumping up, like if they'll bring out a 4-inch version. And
I mean, you know the reason we don't make a single thing for any XD handgun, right?
Because they're crap. They don't sell worth a crud anymore. They're
the XDS, is the most compatible, most popular one for years.
Yeah.
50% returns on holsters.
Yeah.
Because they assumed it fit all XD holsters, despite all the wording I would put in the descriptions, easy to see. I would have check boxes that said this only fits the Springfield Armory XD-S with the 3.3 inch, like everything.
Yeah. Unsurprising.
So,
all right, dude. Well, thank you, Harrison, for hanging out. Thank you, everybody in the chat. And we will see you guys next time.